22nd,
Oh,
here's Kelso and Carson.
In Monterey, though, there's been a gas stall and a hand stall, you know, like, there's no difference. He's not looking at that, you know?
In those
Most trying to say, oh,
areas,
if he's operating, so it's considered, he's an operator.
I would think we would need something at those areas.
And that's why we typically leave it to the neighbors, because you guys know
already.
there may have been issues in the past.
So these contractors, they want to deal with
You
it.
know where
It's costing
the
them
best
money. At
location
the end of a
might be,
job,
because
it's
a lot
like,
of
oh, you gotta pay this guy this, pay
I'm
that
just
guy
spacing it
that.
out equally based on how many signs you have, and the location that you choose might not be. Really should have it over here, because I think more people are gonna see it this way, or there used to be an issue right there, the house got broken into at some point in time. You know, so it's really,
See what kind
You gotta,
of.
like, yeah, exactly. So they can-
Exactly.
It's not like B&B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
They're
different.
different animals, different altogether, exactly. Yeah, administrative, that's not
Parks, so the
tight,
people who are not
but, you know,
members of the
Blair
neighborhood or
Ross.
residents of the neighborhood know that
I call it the
there's,
CDBG factor.
there are people watching
You know,
you.
yeah.
add another whatever.
I would think
percentage, yeah.
that those, we have 9 signs?
But hopefully.
I believe it's 9. I didn't know what that meant,
Yeah,
but I think I didn't
I'll make
go
a
back
bunch of
and
calls
look at
out. Hey, you got
all the grants and all you guys
I'll
have.
try to
Yeah, I
get
think you
it.
should.
But there was so many of those things came through.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
You've got one for every-
So it's like losing track, so I have to go through and like
Like,
pull out.
like where you
Should've
street
gone out
representative, the
yesterday. I had
region.
checked the website.
yeah.
I was at that
Yeah, I'll check it right
particular,
now.
I was the one that attended
Did they change it to the
that grant.
Yeah, change the fifth.
So,
So
you know,
still do a second agenda,
Yeah.
answer
very
questions
well
or whatever. so-
represented.
Between the private sides, the
And
I'm sure
banners.
that'll take a solid week to review it, so we'll
See,
switch back.
banners were doing privately, so
Maybe
that's
that
not
Thursday or
something
Friday.
that you need to.
Yeah, so I have to, I'll make sure I give you a home tomorrow too. It'd just be nice just kind of start to lay out the
Well,
neighborhood and just a little.
I haven't, all right, I'll try and reach out to her. Phone call, I'll reach out, I'll reach back out to you if I do.
Okay.
Because I'd like to talk to her.
Are you enjoying stuff? Yeah, because that was actually on my list of today. I just didn't get around to it.
Yeah, don't
It's like you
get
walk in my
around to it
office and
tomorrow.
see those
Ready?
sign monster. I'm like,
We can start.
Don't worry about it until
Okay.
Monday, I'll try and
Said
reach
you're
out to her.
starting.
So if we need to walk through the neighborhood on Saturday, because Saturday we're doing a little free library dedication in the neighborhood.
Cool.
So maybe we'll be able
Oh,
to
good.
out then
Yeah.
and decide, I'll tell her that I saw you. and
Yeah, just let me know. I just need to know
Because I
locations.
have a neighborhood map, and I don't think necessarily that where we put it on for the grant application.
Do you know what the
I didn't think then that they
neighborhood
needed to go
of
there.
18th
because
Street
it's
is?
kinda like,
What
Yeah.
the,
That's why I kind of leave it up to.
you know, it's like the.
Because I guarantee I
College
could
Park is
pick
one
up.
part, what my part is.
How are you? You know,
Not off the
crazy,
top of my
just
head.
Not as crazy as you guys.
Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. We are here to have our first meeting of your road project within your neighborhood. You all are in District 2 neighborhood. And my name is Jennifer Huffmeister. I work for WGI, and I'm head of the public outreach, sort of the coordinator. So within each of the 4 districts within Lake Worth, with part of the neighborhood road program, each of the districts have a public outreach coordinator who handles only those projects within that district. And I oversee and coordinate, make sure that everything is consistent throughout those districts.
What's WGI?
Watman Group. So that is the firm that I work for. And
You're hired by the city? Or?
yes, we are all hired by the city. We're all consultants. So I'm going to introduce the engineer of record for your project, and this is Rebecca Travis, and she is the engineer, and with her,
Courtney Marshall.
Courtney Marshall. And they're going to explain the project, what is going to be taking place here within this coming year. This is the kickoff for your project. We also have Felipe and Jamie here with staff with our public involvement or public services department for the city of Lake Worth.
All right, as Jennifer mentioned, I'm with Matthews Consulting. We're the engineering firm that is doing the design, and we'll be doing construction administration, assisting the city on that for District 2. So this project, as with most of the other projects within the city, the goal is to identify the pavement that needs to be typically milled and overlaid, so we look at the condition of the pavement in the area. We also look at the condition of the curb and the sidewalk, and then the signage, the traffic volumes, whether there's needs to be traffic calming, and then if there's some utilities such as water main replacement or sewer work that needs to be done based on studies that have been completed under separate contracts for the city in the past, then those are identified and we roll it all together so we get all the improvements done at one time rather than, do a road and then come back and rip it up and put the water main in. That wouldn't make any sense. So these roads have been identified for year 2 out of 4 years of the bond report. So they've been identified in the bond report based on their pavement condition, basically. And we're already into year 2. We did another project previously for year 1, which was down on 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th Avenue North, between A and G. So we did that already. That's getting ready to go to construction soon. So now we're just starting the design. You might have seen the surveyors out in your neighborhood, as you mentioned, spray paint and stuff that they've picked up with the survey. That'll wear off. Won't be there. It's not regular spray paint, but it looks like it when it first goes on there. So the streets that are included in this part of the project, and you should have all gotten a notice, and we listed all the streets, but I'll kind of go over more specifically what the plan is for each of the streets. So as I said, we'll be doing mill and overlay, where we grind up the top inch of the asphalt and then lay a new asphalt layer down. Sidewalk repairs, we're going to only repair broken sidewalk and do ADA accessible ramps with those domed mats. So they'll have the yellow domed mat at the intersections of the sidewalk with the roadway, and any curb that's broken. We'll replace any crosswalk striping that needs to be replaced after we do. If we mill it up, obviously the stripes are gone, so we'll put whatever was there back. And typically street signage, so new stop signs, new street name signs, new dead end sign, new. We'll have signs at the end of the streets that are dead ends that have reflectors on them so that people know they're dead end. And, a lot of times signs were placed years ago and somebody ran their car into it, or somebody decided they wanted a sign on their bedroom wall at home. Who knows what the heck happened to it. So that's why we'll be going through and replacing signs that no longer have the adequate reflectivity as well, and then signs that should have been replaced. So we'll have all that taken care of. So we'll start up here on the north end of the project. So 18th Avenue North, we'll be doing a new 8-inch water main along that road, extending basically from Dixie Highway west. Will be running under the tracks with the new water main and past probably the power yard, the
D Street.
not even to the next street, just basically till we get past the substation or in front of the substation on the new water main. And then anybody that has water main that's or water services. A lot of people you're talking before, a lot of people have water services off maybe like a 2-inch water main that's behind in the alley behind their house. And the city can't access those lines because there's no way to drive back there. People have maybe taken over, putting fences or sheds or something or whatever on the easement, so the city can't access it anymore. And a 2-inch line is too small to support fire hydrants. You need at least a 6-inch line to support a fire hydrant, to have enough capacity to fight a fire. So the city's moving, as they go through these different projects, if there's a water main that needs to be moved to the street, they're doing that, hooking everybody up, so your water service, your water meter will come to the front of the house at the street, and they'll re-hook you up. So that's on 18th, we'll be doing that. We'll be moving the rear yard services to the front with the new water main.
You realize that that entire neighborhood is people who don't own it, you know, they're renters. And there's like 75 renters there. And so the whole street is going to be completely redone for that? I mean, am I going to be able to get out of my street?
Oh, okay, yes. Any construction project, the contractor's required to provide you with a means of egress and ingress. And as the design engineer, we also come up with a plan for how we want that to happen. And we tell the contractor, okay, you can only close one half of the street at a time, and then at the end of the night, you have to cover over the trench, and it might be Shell Rock Road, but you'll be able to drive on it. And we've done many projects where we've had a dead-end street, where there's no turnaround, there's no, oh, go down to this street for the night and come walk back to your house, you know. No, we don't do that. We make sure that the contractor has to make sure the garbage can get there, the mail delivery. If we had a project where a woman had to go to dialysis every day. We made sure that could happen. I mean, you'll be taken care of, and specifically, we'll have another meeting before construction starts, where we'll tell you what's going to happen, when the time frame is. The contractor's required to put door hangers on your house to say, okay, we're going to be in front of your house tomorrow or 2 days from now or whatever, and has this phone number you can call. We'll have a designated person from the contractor, from the engineer's office, from the city. You'll have plenty of ways to, say, I have an issue here. I need you to make sure this, doesn't put me in a bind. So, we'll certainly work with anybody with special circumstances or just regular, I got to get to my house and get home from work. So, yeah, we'll make sure that they have to maintain fire trucks have to still be able to get to your house, all that. So we'll make sure that happens. It might not be a brand new paved thing. It might be a rock road for, a week or two, but yeah, so we'll make sure that that's all worked out. And that's part of our public involvement that Jennifer helps with as well. So then let's move over to 19th Avenue North. So we're going to, this might be a little bit delayed on the project as a whole because, as you might know, this vacant area over here is being developed by a private developer. So, and they're required, as part of their improvements, to run water main and a sewer to serve their system and get it tied in with the city system. So the city is still, as part of the bond program, going to do the road improvements. But we need to make sure that the developer puts the sewer and water in first, and then we'll come back and do the road improvements. So that schedule might be a little bit off from the rest of this project, but again, we're going to move rear yard water services over to the new water main that the developer puts in. We'll be hooking up sewer laterals to the sewer that he's going to be putting in there, and that'll all be coordinated on 19th. Then Florida Street or Florida Avenue, I keep seeing it's both ways. I'm not sure which one's the right one, but between 20th Avenue North and 23rd Avenue North. That is basically kind of an alleyway behind the businesses that front Dixie. And it's just a two-way drive lane. There's no sidewalk on there. People's fences kind of come right up to the edge of pavement, or their little retaining walls or power poles. So that one is not going to be a standard full cross section there. We're not going to do curb. We're not going to do sidewalk there because we're just replacing what's there. But we will be milling and overlaying that segment. We're going to design it so that hopefully we can have overland flow to run into the existing drainage inlets that are on 22nd, where do we have 20th, 21st, and 22nd. We have existing drainage inlets. So we'll try and slope the pavement to get it to go into the drainage inlets. We don't have any water sewer improvements on that road at all there. 14th Avenue North, right here over between the sound wall of I-95 and to Clark Lane. So this was added to the project because we need to move 5 water services for the houses on the south side to the front, to the water main in the front. So we're just milling and overlaying, like 3 blocks basically. We'll be doing any sidewalk repair, I don't think we have any curb. Can't remember on that one for sure, but we'll be looking at the condition of everything and replacing what needs to be replaced. And then Crestwood, which is 1 block south from A to I-95 sound wall, that has a new water main, a new 6-inch water main. We'll be moving the water services from the rear to the front, doing any curb and sidewalk repair there. And then 8th Avenue North from Dixie to G Street. That's just going to be any curb repair, sidewalk repair, mill and overlay. No water main, no sewer replacement there. And I also forgot to mention, if there's a driveway apron in the right-of-way, so from the, not into your property, not the driveway into your property, but from back of the sidewalk into the street, if it's all cracked and broken, or if it's an asphalt one and it's cracked and broken and grass growing through it or whatever, we'll replace those. But we're not going to go into your house. You might have terrible, driveway up to your garage, but we're not doing anything with that. It's just in the public right-of-way that we'll be replacing the aprons there. And that's on any of the streets. So now F Street, we're extending from Lucerne up to 11th. We're skipping 3rd to 4th because the pavement condition for that 1 block was found to be in pretty good condition. So I guess that was done with another project, I think, maybe in the more recent times. I'm not sure why that ended up not making the cut for the bond. But so on F, we're going to be doing milling and overlaying. There's going to be some areas where if you have some drainage ponding at the curb, or maybe we need to cut in a new drainage inlet and tie it into the existing system. This is probably the only street that we anticipate adding drainage inlets. Pretty much all the other areas we either can direct the flow to the inlets already, or the slope of the road is good enough that it runs off. We're just trying to fix problem areas on F. New curb where required, new sidewalk where required, and then we have a new water main going in on F between 5th and 10th Avenue North. We won't be doing any work in the intersection of 10th Avenue North or 6th Avenue North. Those are county rights of way. The city's not going to spend money to do work there. The county's responsible for that. And then also we've done a traffic analysis to determine whether there's problems with speeding on these streets. Many of them are dead ends, as you know, so we're not concerned about that. So primarily we looked at F as whether that needed any kind of traffic calming. And we found that there was no need for to address speeding. Not to say no one ever speeds there, but didn't meet the minimum level of number of cars speeding. However, we are adding stop conditions or ensuring there's a stop condition at 5th Avenue North and F and 7th Avenue North and F based on community comments. The other thing we're considering on F is we know that, especially on the weekends, everyone parks on F Street, like bumper to bumper, start to finish. And when you're pulling up to the intersection, you can't see left and right to see if anybody's coming. So we're going to add some striping at the corners of F so that people can't park all the way up to the intersection. And then that'll let people be able to see.
Have you considered doing like a bulb out type thing that would actually like definitely keep people from parking there unless they want to go up on a curb, or was it cost prohibitive?
Well, we have the bulb outs on
The east-west street.
east-west streets.
Okay.
So and we'll have stop conditions east and west.
I'm not really thinking of it as a speeding or as a traffic control issue, right? But just something to kind of encapsulate the parking spaces at both ends of the block, because this being my neighborhood, and me being aware of how people, they just don't care, and so like the striping, while it will probably aid our PBSO guys in determining when people are parking in places they're not supposed to be parking, I fear that people are going to park over the striping anyway.
We would also include signs so that they could be ticketed. But we can consider that. There's the other issue with the bulb outs is when we have streets that have very little slope to them, as F does. When you put the bulb outs in, then that requires a longer length for the drainage to go around the bulb out, which could possibly cause drainage problems. Plus, the majority of the inlets are on the curb line of F. So now if I have a bulb out, it's encompassing the inlet. With that said, we can see it, if there are situations where we can accommodate bulb outs, we'll look at that. But there's reasons why we kind of discounted that idea. But we'll look at it because the inlets aren't always on F. Sometimes they're not, and we can look at that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Commissioner, I'm sorry, I did not recognize.
Oh, you-
Yes, Commissioner Hardy's here, so I apologize.
And I would certainly agree that bulb outs all along F Street would be wonderful. Since we don't have complete streets, we don't have swales, the things that we would love to have. At least those would give us a chance to get some trees from someone. And bulb outs can be done where the actual drainage goes in a trench between the bulb out, which is an island. So the drainage issue can be overcome. It's all a matter of expense.
Well, yes and no. Sometimes it's, if we do I know exactly what you're talking about with the trench behind the bulb out
Mhm.
that cuts through, because we're doing that on Second Avenue South. That's gonna be reconstructed, and we've got that same situation. That, however, takes away from the area for the tree planting, the tree area. So, again, it's not impossible, it might work in some cases. So
But does the
we'll-
contract include any trees?
We are presenting tonight to just kind of get everybody's input, and we certainly take that as the input. You know, that's why we're here tonight, is to find out what is important to the residents, what you'd like to see. Of course, everything is limited to the budget, but we would, you know, we've discussed doing the bulb outs on F, and we've been back and forth on it, because, you know, we would like to do the bulb outs. It's kind of a nice traffic calming feature. It's got beautification with the trees, you know, it's,
Clearly
yeah. And
a
so,
better alternative than
Yeah.
striping that really is.
yeah, so we certainly will look at that. That's,
Goes away.
I don't know why we're here tonight, is to get what it is that everyone would like to see, and we're trying to accommodate what we can.
Now, F Street, you say is getting into a 6-inch or 8-inch water main. So that means that all of the metering will be on the street side now,
Yes.
on F Street, from 2nd to 11th, or 5th to 11th, I guess.
Right. For this, yeah, this project, the new water main is 5th to 10th. But I think the water main is, on the rest of that section, is in the front already. I think they're tying into
Now,
that.
because there are a lot of potholes on F that appear to me to be storm drainage issues that have created leakage into the drains.
Mhm.
So will the storm drains be rebuilt as well?
If it's found to have something that needs to be repaired, that the existing storm system has to be repaired, then we would, you know, look into that. I mean, we wouldn't fix the whole street up and then have a broken, but I don't think we have any indication,
Bless you.
bless you, that there's any.
See any sinkholes or anything
There
indicative of
are
infiltration?
that F that look to me to be issues with the drainage.
Sure, we'll certainly look at them, TV the lines, you know, see the condition of the pipe, and then make repairs as necessary prior to doing any road work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes there'll be a low point that maybe the water doesn't quite get to the inlet. It just starts, and then it just starts degrading the asphalt, and then the pothole starts, and it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we would certainly fix that.
How far into the side streets does your contract take you? 20 feet from the center line, or 30 feet, or?
Well, for 2nd to 6th, we're doing, under a previous contract, we're doing this cross streets. So those will be, we're doing bulb outs on the cross streets, typically like at least 50 feet from the intersection of F either way. In some cases where the street's dead end going east of F, we're replacing some of that, but not in every case. Now, when you get past 6th, again, that'll be 50 feet from center line each way,
50 feet.
50 feet from center line of that. Now, let's say we see this huge problem 70 feet over, yeah, we'll fix, you know, we'll extend it. I think we had the comment on the previous project where we're moving Sixth and third or second. We're going over to the alley, or we're going over to the railroad tracks.
Third
because-
would be all the way through, so it must be fourth.
Okay.
Fourth and sixth.
So we did extend it, just what I'm saying, like if there was a little bit further to fix some problem, we would take that and go do that extra bit.
I'm sorry. Could you go back to what you said about, you were just talking about the east-west streets just now, about extending potentially all the way to the railroad?
Yeah,
I remember initially those were not included in the, so did you guys
Right.
decide to go all the way?
on this, a couple of them, yes,
Okay.
based on comments received at that first meeting.
Thank you.
It's, to clarify, it's not all the way. It's about 50, 75 feet west of the alleyway. So it's not all the way to the end, it's a little bit just at the alleyway west, so it wasn't.
Well, yeah, in many cases, when the railroad did their improvements, as you know, they did an overlay east and west typically to the alley. So we're just filling that gap between where we originally were ending the contract to where the pavement is in good condition, so closing that gap. Yeah.
And I just want to clarify for anybody that wasn't at the meeting last week, this is an overview of year 2. And in year 1, Tropical Ridge neighborhood is pretty much getting almost all their east-west streets redone to some capacity. So if you're going along F, every intersection is going to have bulb outs and 4 new trees, but on the east-west instead of on F Street. So every intersection is going to have that improvement, and
That's part of the bond issue.
that's part of the first year bond.
And that
and this
includes
is second
ninth,
year.
for instance.
That's
No,
second
ninth
to
is
Only
ninth
to
is
sixth.
unpaved.
Only to sixth.
That's on my agenda. That is, yeah, all the unpaved streets. I know we have some in Tropical Ridge. We have 2. One of them is being addressed with CDBG funds. Ninth is on my list. It's really important, I think. And also, I think was 11th and 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are also unpaved. So you might want to, for example, in public comment, mention how there are some unpaved streets that maybe need to be addressed.
Okay.
This is public comment. There are some east-west streets.
Would it be ninth?
For Ninth, the school buses go down Ninth, and
Really?
On the
Yeah.
unpaved section?
unpaved and
Wow.
enormous potholes, and the poor school bus just joggles
Yeah.
along there. So
Need to get a different route.
8th, I understand, will be
Hopefully he's not on the school bus.
So ninth from what to what? JB, you probably.
A to
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a business.